A big part of this work that I'm making now is having a solitary figure. So I'm actually working off of the other artists in ArtSpace. So as I encounter people, I ask them if I can come to their studio and make drawings of them while they're working. And it's really important to me that I'm not necessarily having somebody like sit and pose for me, but that I'm observing them like doing something. I'm like in their space. And so space is really important to these, shape, color, capturing kind of like a truth of the moment. So it's not necessarily about making like a super accurate like portrait of a person, but more about the shapes that I'm seeing and kind of like what's recognizable, and creating like a really interesting, colorful composition.
I think it's important that you mention all those things. And so you've included, as you've spoken, some common things in your work are shape, moments, okay? Not just ones that you construct, but ones that exist already. Why are those things important to you?
Maybe I can answer it like this. I make all my drawings from life, and it's just like important to me to be like in the presence of something and to kind of like appreciate it.
I think a lot of visual art, for the most part, is less observational in the moment and more recording something that you've chosen to document. So I think that's maybe super characteristic of your work, is like capturing things as they happen. You seem to be responding a lot to space and environments that you are in. And currently in Raleigh, North Carolina, you've taken a lot of that and used it in your projects or your workshops, like your space mapping with us on First Friday.
So when I'm drawing, I'm usually working pretty fast. And when I move from taking the drawings to making collage, I'm like slowing myself way down. So I'm taking these like little pieces and then like building. I think about like building this space up and like building the positive and the negative at the same time, like pushing and pulling these little edges. And so it's just like a very different speed to operate.
Do you find that when you're pushing and pulling edges or space, I guess, in the scenes that you depict, that you're beginning to abstract them a bit or not? And is that intentional, and does that kind of correspond to your collages at all?
Yes, it's totally part of the process, and it's intentional. Sometimes it's something that might kind of happen intuitively, and then when I look at it, I decide whether or not I want to keep it in the piece or like adjust it.
Can you walk me through your complete practice from beginning to end, or your process?
I work in my sketchbook and work fast, pencil on paper, and then I'll take the drawings that I think are sort of like the most valuable to me in describing the space or describing light and shadow or the pose of the person, and I'll work from them on sort of a big piece of paper. And I've sort of like been alternating between putting a few lines on the paper first to kind of work out the composition a little bit, and like not doing that, because I think not doing that kind of allows for more of these idiosyncrasies to happen. But planning the drawing out or the painting out is sort of like, I don't want to end up like filling things in. I want to be able to like wander around like inside the painting, the collage. So that's something I kind of like alternate. Like you can see some pencil lines like in this, but I'm not always like putting down a drawing first. Maybe like a couple of marks. And then I paint paper and I'm cutting it up. And if I need a different color, I feel like I don't have a color that I need, I'll like stop and like paint more paper.
Yeah. Well, okay. I guess one important thing that I need to know finally is whether there's anything in particular you want people to learn from this exhibition and how you think your time here at ArtSpace can help with that.
Yeah, so being able to work with the artists at ArtSpace has already, it's just been an unbelievable experience. Like, it's so wonderful to have all these creative people around and to be able to kind of like be a fly on their wall while they're working. So that alone, I mean, is really, it's worth the world to me. But also, I think about observation. Yeah, like slowing down. I guess I mentioned already, slowing down and kind of observing the details, kind of getting into the details and appreciating things.
And that's an important lesson for you that you want people to learn.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, we're definitely here to help you with whatever initiative you have. We're here to give you space, to give you assistance, so we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.